I'm gonna put somebody on blast. These AirPods, not in stellar condition. Can you even hear through these? My goodness. Sometimes I'll take out my earbuds and look at them and they'll be covered in like, you know, earwax goo, and it's just not pleasant. I wanted to show you all how to clean up any of your earbuds. So I have some traditional AirPods here. I have the classic ones, the regular ones instead of the pros without the ear tips. And then I have some Beats, you know, any kind of earbud this applies to. So the first thing you want to do, I usually grab a microfiber cloth. You can use a big one. I usually have a smaller one that I use for like cleaning my glasses. You can dedicate one of those smaller microfiber cloths to your earbuds, but you just want to begin with gently just wiping off the surface. Could be a dry rag, slightly damp. I have some distilled water here. You can use that. I'd avoid using like sink water and really wet rag. You just want damp because you want to use as little moisture as possible on these. Now, if you do have some AirPod Pros, they have these little ear tips on. You can just squeeze those and pop them off. They come off pretty easy and they go back on even easier, but we'll do that a little later. Just be gentle not to rip them. Firmly pinch and squeeze, get those off of there. Now, any mesh areas, you can clean those. These have a little sensor, it's a little window. You don't really need to clean that. You can just wipe it off, but we're gonna get to cleaning those ports because a lot of dirt, debris, your earwax, your grossness gets stuck in those. So what you need is a little makeup brush. You can devote just an inexpensive, cheap, extra makeup brush, or you can find cleaning kits for electronics. I keep one of these in my computer bag. Has a bunch of different accessories and tips for cleaning your laptop, tablets, things like that, and has some accessories for earbuds. So you can do that. The simplest method, just pick up some Q-tips, get an extra Q-tip. You can use this as well. Lastly, you can use a soft toothbrush. I always get extra of these when I go to the dentist, and I have a drawer full of like 5 or 6 extra toothbrushes. So I always devote these to different cleaning applications, and your electronics and earbuds can be one of them. So choose your tool of choice. You'll also need some micellar water. This you can find in any beauty products aisle, any pharmacy area. And this is just a gentle cleaner. It's good for makeup, dirt removal. So these are gonna be perfect for your electronics. And it's not that harsh, so it won't kind of corrode and damage the electronics and the plastic material on here. So you can use isopropyl alcohol, but you might wanna dilute it with a little bit of water. Alcohol tends to dry out and can be kind of damaging. So you wanna use this sparingly, but if this is all you have and not the micellar water, go ahead and use a little alcohol. Just use it sparingly. You don't have to use it all the time. But most of the time, all your earbuds need is a little wipe off. So we'll start there and then clean those ports. So a little bit of this micellar water, this blue liquid, and just dip a clean brush of your choosing in there. And I like to do it upside down so none of the liquid is falling into the ports. I kind of go against gravity and just gently wipe those mesh ports. You can dab off some of the excess. You can do this over a paper towel or just a regular clean towel. So just clean those mesh ports. Ooh, this stuff kind of smells good. Just brush off any mesh sides. And there we go. And you can clean that brush in some distilled water. Distilled water is great for cleaning. It has no minerals. It's just pure water, so it won't leave any residues or build up on whatever you're cleaning. And kind of stay away from those charging ports. That's where you want to be the most delicate. You can just wipe those off with a dry part of your towel. I don't hydrate the whole towel. I'll just do kind of like a little piece and wipe off. So after you've applied, brushed in the micellar water, you can rinse that brush, dry it off, and then go back again, just cleaning those mesh parts out. Just kind of like a quick rinse with your brush. Now, most earbuds these days are, mostly waterproof, have a waterproof rating, against sweat and stuff. So you don't have to be super careful about getting liquid in there, but you don't want to hydrate it too much and you don't want to damage any of the internal components. There we go. That one's done. And then I'll clean up the ear tips. If yours has one of these silicone ear tips, I just like to get in there, maybe with a Q-tip or whatever brush you're using, and get any earwax in there. These are a very soft, rubber, plasticky material. You want to avoid using alcohol on those. So you can use a little bit of that micellar water, but I would just stick to just a little distilled water. If they're super dirty, you can give them a deeper scrub, but get all around. But that's all you need. Use the other end with some clean distilled water. Okay, give me a minute. I'm back. Depending on how often you use your earbuds, you may want to do this once a week. Now this is not a big setup. It doesn't take a long time. You can do this once a week, once every other week. If your earbuds are super dirty, maybe you have overproducing earwax in your ears, but you know, once a month for light use. But there's that. Just do the other one really quick. It's not super specific. You just want to get a little moisture on there, get it rinsed off, get it dried off. Now, while those are drying a little bit, you can clean the case. Now the case, you can use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. If you already just have that micellar water out, just go ahead and use that. But I like some isopropyl for the case. We're just gonna get a little corner of my rag and kind of wipe the exterior, dry it. If you have a lot of dirt and debris stuck in those crevices, you can go ahead and use one of your clean, dry brushes to just brush all that out. Mine are impeccably clean because I clean mine regularly. You can brush that out or do the same thing. Use a clean Q-tip, just kind of scrub and get everything. What you do want to be careful about is the ports inside where the charging connectors are. You know, I do a little NES, a little Nintendo 64, like, to get any dirt out of there, but just look in there. If there's any dirt, just be very gentle. Use only dry Q-tip. You don't want to damage those connectors. Oh, mine were kind of dirty. Look at me gloating that these were clean and they were a little filthy. Just be very gentle on that hinge. Don't put a lot of pressure. So you just need to be a little careful. It's a delicate device. You don't want to damage it. Don't want to pay for a repair or an exchange like I have before. That's why I do like these electronic cleaning tools, is they're designed to kind of get in there and not damage anything. Let everything air dry at least for an hour or so before you put everything back together and use them again. One thing you can do to keep these clean as you use them is I just wipe them off. Just keep a microfiber cloth, and then like on a daily basis, you can just give them a light rub. Just rub off any earwax, any dirt you see on there. That'll help not build things up over time if you just give them a daily wipe down. You don't need to give them a full clean. Just wipe off any dirt, debris, earwax you see on them. I just wipe them off really quick, put them back in the case. They can charge up and they're good to go. I need to put on gloves for these. Okay, not to shame anyone. I have a friend.
Just say no girls.
I'm gonna put somebody on blast. These AirPods, not in stellar condition. Look at the yellowing. These were not cleaned off on a daily basis. Well, I'm starting a new service. You can ship your dirty AirPods to me and I'll clean them for a small fee and return them to you in about 60 days. I'm working on the business model. Are the gloves necessary? No, but we're just doing it just in case. There's one. Look at that buildup. Can you even hear through these? My goodness. I'm sorry. Now this one is good. You have an inconsistent distribution of earwax in your ears. This one, relatively clean. Oh gosh! Clean these once a week. How old are these? It's a fact of life. Right there. Oh! Maybe the gloves were necessary. I feel like a CSI, like crime investigator. This is ridiculous. Looks like the victim was not cleaning their earpods for about 365 days. Step one, we're using Q-tips on this. We need something disposable. I usually go for reusable, but not today. All right, let's carefully remove these ear tips and not drop them on the ground. I literally think they're fused on there. There it is. This specimen seems to be growing life, bacteria. Now let's get these cleaned up. We're gonna start with just a little bit of that micellar water on a clean Q-tip. Try to get all around. This micellar water helps break down dirt and oil, so it should do a pretty decent job of just dissolving any dirt and grime. So there we go, that's one. Ooh, this is a good one. There's a lot of buildup on this mesh part, so we're gonna just break that down. And it does, it kind of dissolves and flakes right off. So there's a little buildup right here. Just be very careful, just wipe that away. It wipes off really easy with this stuff. Let's get some damp section of our clean towel and just kind of wipe all around. So normal cleaning on a bi-weekly, monthly basis, if your earpods stay clean, this should not be very difficult. But in this severe case, this is taking me a little bit more time because I want to make sure get these nice and clean. But it doesn't take much. If you see any stain, any dirt buildup, you can just wipe that off. Okay, that one's good. This one, we just need to wipe down, wipe off, clean, clear, good to go. Feel like I'm in surgery here. Doctor, will it survive? I don't know. We might have to use the paddles to resuscitate it. Well, the batteries are just dead, so we just need to charge it. But Q-tip, Q-tip stat. But there we go, they're really clean. I kinda can see something in there. So this is where a brush might be helpful. Just get those bristles in some of the hard to see, hard to reach places. Now be careful not to poke into the mesh with a brush, with a Q-tip. I usually just brush off, brush down. That's why I like to use gravity to help not push anything into those mesh pieces. The sensor pieces, you can just avoid those. Now let's get into these ear tips. Now normally you would just want to use a little bit of distilled water on this, but since there's a lot of buildup in there, I'm gonna go in with a little of that micellar water. Oh, we're spending far too long on this, but this is oddly satisfying. I don't want to dip it back in there, it's tainted. Let's go with a new one. I always do a case for reusable cleaning tools, like a brush, you can clean that off like this, but something like a Q-tip is handy in these extreme cases where you just don't want to be bothered with cleaning up afterwards. I tell you, this micellar water is great because it just breaks everything down, gets right in there. You got to be really careful with these tips. The good thing is usually when you buy these, they come with a few extras and you can purchase new ones. Not that you want to break these and need to purchase new ones, but not the end of the world if these break. But there we go. Now we can see through it. I fully believe that your earwax like lowered the decibel of these by like, I don't know, 5 or 6, because there was no way sound was passing through here. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We're just gonna blow out anything that was stuck in that mesh. I really feel like a scientist. These are basically clean. I'm gonna do the same thing. Little distilled water. Just rinse these off. I'm dripping. This is quite, oh, thank you. Thank you, nurse. The patient will survive. Now the case, I'm gonna start with just cleaning up as much as I can, just with a slightly damp microfiber cloth. A little yellowing on this. I wonder if some hydrogen peroxide could bring back some of the white color. I'll test that some other time. This is where you might want to get in there with your toothbrush or brush. There's these hinges, these crevices. Get a lot of dirt buildup. And let's go in with a little isopropyl. Get rid of all the excess. Try not to get any of that liquid or moisture onto those connections. But the case itself, you can rub some of that on there. Breathing new life into these. Let this be a case study. Normal cleaning will prevent deep cleaning like this. Would you rather deep clean for 20 minutes? Or would you rather clean for 30 seconds more often? The choice is yours. I'm gonna use a Q-tip, just dry, just to get any gunk down in there. Just be extra careful of those ports. I'm gonna do a little bit of that alcohol just on the exterior, just to clean them up. Make sure everything's, sanitized, clean. Use the dry portion in the middle to just buff it out. Not too shabby, I'm quite proud. It's like 99.8% there. Leave that open to dry out. Oddly, all the ones I used cleaning my earbuds are clean. Now, one thing you can do to keep your earbuds clean that's not cleaning the earbuds themselves, keep your ears clean. Go through a normal ear cleaning regimen, and that means no Q-tips in your ears, but just clean the outside of your ears as often as you can. Clean ears means cleaner earbuds. You can use this on any variety of earbuds, so just follow the same tips, techniques to keep your earbuds nice and clean in the cases too.